Oh, hi, Jim.
Oh, hello.
It's almost like I was just talking to you.
We're already back.
Wow,
Record timing.
Ooh.
Wow.
Oh, man. Anyways,
Wow.
so
Is this a special episode?
this is a special episode. We just had a
Yeah.
direct like 3 days ago.
After we literally just made a freaking podcast episode.
Well, like, what's hilarious is I was all like, yeah, Jim, we're going to record it the night of. Woo! Here we are 3 days later, doing it great. We're doing it Nibs style, which is late as everything. Let's go.
Yeah, it's fine.
The big reveal obviously was Tears of the Kingdom. I always want to call it Tales of the Kingdom for some reason. We will get into that. That's going to be the meat of our discussion, I think, today is Tears of the Kingdom and our theories therein.
I think that'll be the meat, and we're just gonna like
breeze over a couple things. I'm not gonna go through everything, because not everything was a big deal to me. I'm gonna talk about the things that stood out to me. I skipped over a lot in my watch through because I already knew a little bit. Plus, a lot of it really didn't matter. But like Ghost Trick coming to Switch was really cool. That was cool to see. I played a little bit of it. I think it was I think I told you it was a DS title, but I think it was a 3DS title. Let me just look it up before we say something wrong, and the fanboys at some point, probably the next like 3 years, kick me in the butt. It was a DS title.
2010.
Yeah, it was a DS title.
It came out in 2010.
And it was a good one. It was a very unique, very interesting way to do things.
We're getting the cool thing about this, dude, is that like some people are complaining about like re-releases of handhelds, and I'm like, you got to remember, Nintendo axed its separate handheld stuff. The Switch is all there is right now, and the Switch Lite is just their kind of answer to like what they're doing for handheld. Like the Switch itself is a great handheld system.
Agreed.
So of course 3DS and DS and all those games, it makes sense to bring those to the Switch.
And like,
you know,
I think we're gonna see a lot more come. And we didn't watch it, but I'm gonna bring it up. It's supposed to be near the bottom with TOTK, but or TOTK. But Metroid Prime Remastered. The details that have come out from that have been phenomenal, because it's not just a scale up, it's not just a redo, it's a literal remaster from the ground up, and it's built on Rare's newest engine.
Yeah,
and
it runs 60 FPS.
I was about to say, and it's stable. It's not a buggy, riddled mess. It is a stable remaster, a true remaster. With up resolution, up textures, up animations, all of this. It's not just like hey, here's our GameCube game running on the Switch. They literally said, nah, fam, here you go.
Yeah, so, and I gotta say, like, I never played Metroid Prime. I've always wanted to. I've never played them. And this is huge for me because not only is it like, cost so much to get older versions of it and playability in that. I don't have a GameCube, I don't have a Wii. I have a Switch.
Oof.
And the fact that this is physically out, I've pre-ordered my copy. It's physically out on the 22nd. It's only $50 in Canada and $40 in the US for a physical copy. It's matching its eShop price, which is historically wild for Nintendo because we know Nintendo will charge way extra for physical if they can.
Yep.
And the fact that they shadow dropped this, there was nothing.
Well, there have been rumors that they were working on a Prime Remaster for a long time.
They have, quote unquote, leaked the trilogy collection up for sale on stores for years. Yeah. There's been no weight to that discussion. There's been no proof. This is the first actual, like gameplay, everything. They were like, with their whole breath, they're like, yo, we just shadow dropped Metroid
with their whole chest. Hey, by the way, in case you wanted to play it, it's out on the eShop. You're welcome. But here's the thing.
You're welcome.
Here's my thing. Here's where I'm the most in love with what Nintendo is doing with everything.
Yeah.
They're not giving up on their older titles. Like, yes, they're paywalling NSO. Yes, they're paywalling GBA and GB and N64. But they're showing that they are not giving up on it. They're giving us access to games that we didn't have in the US, or they're giving JP access to games they didn't have in JP.
And that paywall isn't that much, and if you consider the cost,
but see, here's the thing. Not even the cost of the benefits that you're getting.
Right.
Just the fact that you're paying, what is it, $5 a month or $12 a year, or it's $5 a month or $60 a year. There's a split somewhere, but like you're getting access to 5 generations of games on top of free DLC that you would have to pay for otherwise, on top of a family account that only costs a smidge more than
which you can split with like 10 friends.
Exactly, 8 friends. But still,
8 friends. Sorry, 8 friends. You can split that with,
and you all get it. It's not just
you're barely paying anything.
Yeah, it's not just the parent gets it; everybody gets it, and they don't do hard limits like Netflix is doing BT Dubs.
As a collector, if you were to go and buy, like as a collector, if you were to go to buy a GBA right now and the corresponding games, you'd break your bank. And then Nintendo's like,
or if you want to go get into Super Nintendo and try to get Earthbound, good luck. Good luck.
Right. And I mean the Super Nintendo easy, but like the Earthbound, and like the thing is that like that's incredible to me. There's so many games that I didn't get to play in the GBA, and I gotta tell you right now, like since I've shifted to RPG focus, as a content creator, the fact that I will get to play Golden Sun and I've never played it is huge.
Okay.
I've always wanted to play Golden Sun.
And that is the biggest notice to me that Nintendo, while they're doing it slowly and they're doing it quietly, they are listening to their fans. And I think that's the biggest disconnect that we get as gamers and especially as content creators, but mostly as gamers as a whole, is that we think these companies don't listen. And Nintendo has historically proven that, yes, while they are tone deaf in their responses to certain things, they do listen and they do surprise us with stuff. Like, I mean, look at Ultimate. Let's just look at Smash Bros. So I remember whenever the original Smash Bros came out and they were announcing the GameCube version, they were announcing Melee, and they did a character survey. And I remember Ridley being number like 2 or 3, and Banjo-Kazooie being up there, and we didn't get him in Melee, and we didn't get him in. I'm having a brain moment. I have to look it up.
We didn't.
Was there a Smash? Was there a Smash Bros on the?
Yes.
There was a Smash Bros on GameCube, and then it was Ultimate, correct? There's only been 4 iterations of Smash.
Smash started on the N64.
No, there was a 3DS version.
There's a 3. So Smash started on the N64, then GameCube, then Wii. Then the Wii U, and the Wii U version was also on 3DS.
Okay, so it was Wii was its own, Wii U was its own, Wii U and 3DS shared ecosystem, and then there was Ultimate. Okay, you got to realize, gamers, I'm a huge Nintendo fan, but Smash Bros. And I are not best friends, so I don't remember every detail. I apologize. Anyways, Ridley and Banjo were always up there, and they were never they were a trophy, or they were a background character on a map. But then with Ultimate, we got them. We got them, boys.
I can't believe how Ultimate gave us everything.
And that's the thing. Like, everybody's talking about how there's gonna be the next Smash Bros. And we're waiting for it. I personally don't think we're gonna get another Smash Bros.
I don't know.
I really don't.
Not anytime soon.
And as I say, and if we do, it will be a tone shift from what it is. I could see them recruiting. I could see them recruiting someone from Tekken or Street Fighter.
Yeah, and if anything, at this point too, you can just port Ultimate to whatever next generation Nintendo does and splash some characters in.
That too.
Some stages.
But I don't see us getting the love that we got with Ultimate again.
No, Sakurai gave
Sakurai really did
everything.
And he gave his everything, because you can see in all of his videos that he does, he's the one that does it. And if you read any of his interviews, you can just tell how much he loves the series. But the point I'm making is, is that Nintendo listens, and so by bringing Ghost Trick and Metroid and Golden Sun to the GBA, that's why I still hold out hope that we're gonna get a Mother collection. Because Earthbound's on the Super Nintendo, so I don't see why we would not get Mother 3.
And like, we got to remember too, like a lot of these older titles too, there's localization, there's rights, there's all that stuff.
And also there are societal things that were okay back then because they weren't a problem, and because we've evolved as a society, we've been like, hey, that joke really doesn't fit, so they have to work around that and see if it's gonna
and they have to look at if old IPs, because we might not remember exactly how problematic some of the stuff we enjoyed growing up could be. So I think that like there are reasons why it takes time, but you got it. Like, there are downsides with Nintendo. Like, real quick, first of all,
for sure,
I will say the fact that they're raising the price on Tears of the Kingdom is really insulting.
We'll talk. We'll talk about that before we go into the tiers again, because I have thoughts on that that are gonna
we will
frustrate you.
We will talk about that, because we're seeing Sony and Microsoft with new titles have gone up $10, right?
Yeah.
And that might, and like, in the US you're like, $70, that's ridiculous. And in Canada, I'm like, that's $90 before tax.
Yeah.
Because of obviously our dollar difference and stuff.
Yeah.
It's a $20 gap. That $20 still kills me.
Well, it's a big jump for you, and I mean, $10 is a big jump for us. But
right, yeah, and like I remember, like, we used to be on par with you guys during the 360 PS3 era. Our games were $60, like yours. They were just 60. For the longest time, our games were $60, and 3DS games were like $40. And then we transitioned into PS4 and Xbox One, and we hit a point. It wasn't necessarily right away, but we hit a point where games went up to 80. And I remember being like, that's a $20 jump. That was a big jump. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and now
for
to
sure.
hit 90, it's like, after taxes, that you're spending over $100 per game release.
Yeah.
And it's just not realistic, for most people.
We'll jump back to that, I promise.
Yeah, we'll jump back to that. But
Splatoon 3. Sorry.
Nintendo, I will say one of the, I gotta speak up for the Animal Crossing fans here.
Go for it.
I can understand how upset you guys are, because like, it does feel like, Animal Crossing came out on the Switch. It was lacking a lot of stuff that other iterations had. I was honestly disappointed by the lack of Nintendo crossovers compared to like, I think it was New Leaf or whatever on the 3DS that had a lot of Nintendo crossovers.
Yep.
And we just got that Mario one. I was like, okay, cool. Zelda's anniversary is coming up. When are we getting the Zelda stuff added to Animal Crossing?
Never.
And then they just kind of like added some stuff and ended it, and added that DLC, which people did enjoy, but it feels like a dead game. And if it wasn't for the community behind it, the use of this game would really fall off. So shout out to the content creators that somehow, after all this time, big shout out to personal friend Call Me Rob.
I was about to say it before we change topics. Call Me Rob gets that shout out. Rob,
great friend, and he does Animal Crossing
every single day
and keeps it interesting. He's still doing it years later. That's the point I'm gonna bring up really quick, just with Animal Crossing. We got 2 years of support, which is unheard of for a single player title that doesn't have that doesn't have a multiplayer focus. Like, yes, there's multiplayer. Yes, it was thought of, but it's not a multiplayer game. It truly is a single player experience. They just let you have your friends come see your island and stuff. So, we got 2 years of support. Would I have loved to see more? Would I have loved to see some more collab and stuff? For sure. But we did get 2 full years of updates. So like I realized that, it was during the pandemic where everybody was stuck in their homes or were working. Shout out to essential workers. I love your faces. Yeah. But I feel like we forget that we got 2 full years of support on top of the 2 collabs. But I understand the frustration and I agree with you. I just don't want to, I don't want people to forget that we did get that 2 full years of support for that game. Right. And yeah, I don't want to say that like we didn't get support, because there was. It's just I get it. You know what I mean? It's tough. And yeah, you're right. Like when Animal Crossing came out, we were peak pandemic. We were lockdowns everywhere. What else were you gonna do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I burned myself out on it.
And it came out at the perfect time. It really did. Like it was it was such a godsend.
Yeah.
It saved my sanity on the bad days. Dear God, work for me was terrible. Yeah. And then I'd come home and I'd get to see Kabuki. I was having a great time.
Yeah.
So, it was a good thing. But let's cycle back to the Direct really quick, just because you and I love to tangent. I love your face.
We love to
You're
tangent,
beautiful.
Baby.
Splatoon 3. So I'm excited because I get to go back to a game that, honestly, as big of a Splatoon fan as I am, if you know me, you know I love Splatoon and the world that it is. I did not play a lot of Splatoon 1 because it was on the Wii U.
Yeah.
And it and I were not friends. But I'm excited to go back to Inkopolis.
I think it's cool that they're adding that.
I can't wait to see Callie and Marie again. But I am more excited for Side Dish because, like I told you while you watched me react earlier, that is very much Team Order vibes. So I'm very curious if we're going to see what became of Pearl and Marina and the world after Team Order 1.
Yeah.
But
so
also the
I'm
ending
glad
we
they're
saw
adding more stuff,
fish.
but
So I'm curious, like I said, I'm curious if we're going underwater
if it's going to be underwater,
and we're going to get a storyline based off of
which would be interesting.
Based off of the war or something.
Yeah.
Because, you see how it's all white and shit, and that could be because of, salt buildup from being underwater. I don't know.
Yeah, it definitely
because that zoom in on the art,
it.
And stuff was just like that, like on the sea scrolls, the sail scrolls. That's the art style that we see in that trailer. So I'm curious to know if this is going to be the telling of the war or the fallout of the war or something. I don't know, but I'm very excited of what it's going to be, just because I love Splatoon's story. I'm very interested in it. I think the big kick for me though is that we can split between the two hubs at will. That's gonna be cool.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing.
What? Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No. I would kind of hope. I kind of hope that side dish, like if you beat side dish or whatever, that we get to go back to see Pearl and Marina do Splatfest stuff.
Yeah.
Because that's who I miss. I miss Marina.
Yeah.
A lot.
I get it, man. No, I agree. I was like, as I was transitioning, and so, like that. So this direct had a lot of stuff, and it was up and down for a lot of people. But I gotta say, and I'm loving the fact that Mario Kart 8, they showed off their new Yoshi's Island track, and we're getting Birdo, and I love that Mario Kart 8 is getting DLC because, like, they're working on Mario Kart 9. They've already said they're working on Mario Kart 9. That game is coming. But in the development time, they decided, hey, we're going to give you I think it's a total of 2 years worth of courses, additional courses to Mario Kart to keep it kind of refreshing and new. The fact that it's double the game, right?
Yep.
And again, if you have the expansion pass, the DLC is included. Not really a big deal. I'm excited for this next wave of Mario Kart DLC, and I love that they're adding Birdo. So that's pretty much it for Mario Kart. I like to fire up Mario Kart once in a while and play with my friends. It's just, it's a vibe.
I'm gonna quick fire some of the remaster / small news that isn't that big.
Sure. Do it up.
We Love Katamari is getting a remaster, which is really cool. I have the Switch title. It's pretty fun. The new Samba game looks to be interesting.
Yeah, I mean they're bringing it back, which is cool. There are people that will enjoy that.
Oh, for sure. One of my content creator friends is super stoked for it, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
We got a new Xenoblade Chronicles 3 hero. We got a release date finally for Advance Wars 1 and 2, which is really cool.
Yeah, I can't wait to play those for the first time. Like I've been very excited for them.
Like we said, the Game Boy Game Advance games came. Fantasy Life's getting a sequel, which is really cool.
Which is huge. Like quickly, the Game Boy Advance.
Oh yeah, I need to go through those games really fast because I need to see what they are.
That was awesome. The fact that they dropped that.
So Super Mario Land 2 is one of my favorite Mario games of all freaking time.
6 gold points. I fired it up and I could not stop singing the themes.
Metroid 2 is a phenomenal game. I remember getting it. I remember my brother getting it, playing through it, having nightmares because of Metroids, but it's still a wonderful game.
Yeah.
Wario Land 3 being there is my favorite Game Boy game of all time besides Alleyway, so I kind of hope we see Alleyway come out. But I will say the big one for me is the Game Boy Advance, and it's not for what you think. You're probably thinking that I'm excited for Fire Emblem, and while I am excited for Fire Emblem, I am more stoked that we're getting Superstar Saga. That is one of my favorite Game Boy Advance games of all time.
I cannot wait to play it because I never got to play it.
It is a wonderful title.
Awesome.
It is probably, it worried me because they were like, oh, it's going to be like Super Mario RPG. And it kind of is, but not. Like, it is Super Mario RPG 2 if 2 was not a continuation of the storyline, because it does have the humor, it does have the gameplay, it does have the everything that Super Mario RPG was, just not Super Mario RPG.
Yeah.
Minish Cap, if you've never played that, please, dear God, play that game. No, it is beautiful.
I need to. I love that it's on there. I love that, like, the love we're going to get to play a lot of these games more easily and on our Switches and on the go, but like you would have.
I didn't see this, and I am more stoked that this is coming too, and it's Metroid Fusion. Metroid Fusion came out at a time, granted, it came out properly at the right time, but it came out at a time where I was very excited by the Metroid game style. I had just beaten Super Metroid on an emulator because I didn't have my brother's Super Nintendo at the time. I will openly say that. Alan, I officially bought one, and I own Super Metroid, so now you can't gatekeep me, you jerk face. But Fusion came out, and I remember playing the mess out of it and having nightmares because of the bad guy that's in it. There's a visual that scared the bejesus out of me, so I'm excited for that to happen again. Oh yeah, I'm so stoked. But the knockout breakout, oh my god, I cannot wait, and I hope we get the second game, is Golden Sun. Golden Sun is such a phenomenal game.
I've heard nothing but amazing.
I think it is the one. I think it is the one game that starts out at the right moment in the story and pulls you in within the first 10 or 15 minutes, depending on how slow you are at getting around. And it does not let you go the entire time. It is the one game that you are at the edge of your seat the entire game. Yes, the game can slog because it is an RPG, so you can burn yourself out and you can slog through it. But as a story, you are on your seat the entire time, the edge of your seat, I should say.
I can't wait. Like personally, I'm beyond excited for it to experience it for the first time. I thought it was dropping right away, and so I was planning to stream it, and then it was like, oh no, it's coming later, and I was like, well, frick, man, I was stoked.
Well, crap.
Well, crap. What else?
Sorry, what? Baten Kaitos is really cool. I remember whenever the game came out. I never played it. I have no words to it. I'm excited that it's coming because I'll finally get to. I am sad that it is only the Japanese voices, but I get it. I'm pretty sure they probably couldn't reach an agreement with the Voice Actors Guild or the voice actors that did the English stuff or something therein, or maybe they just didn't want to. I don't know, but I'm just guessing. But that's gonna be really cool to see. I'm stoked to see another Professor Layton games that I cannot get into at all. I've tried dozens and dozens.
But they're bringing it back, and there's definitely an audience for it, which is awesome.
Oh yeah, I'm stoked for you guys because it is a series that I would love to get into, but I just can't. Yeah. Just like Ace Attorney, I bought the collector's edition, the 3 game pack. I bought it, tried to play it. Still, I just can't get into it. I just can't.
The last mainline Professor Layton game came out in 2014.
Yeah,
crazy.
I'm missing one. Oh, Etrian Odyssey. So you and I talked about this a little bit while I was watching. Etrian Odyssey is a really, really cool dungeon crawler. It was a very cool spin on it. Think of it like, have you played Mystery Dungeon? Or Red Rescue Team, anything like that? None of the Super Mystery Dungeon games?
See, I played, I think, an hour of Persona Q. So, and I know it's similar.
Okay, yeah, so similar. So think of it like that, but boil it down even further where you have to draw your own map.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, oh,
what's
God.
Cool about that is you are then able to create your own cipher. Mm-hmm. So, you don't have to worry about remembering their symbols or anything. You can create your own and just be like, treasure chest is square. Stairs are circle, that kind of stuff. So you don't have to worry about remembering their weird symbols and anything like that. And it's just a really cool thing. Because if you don't want to take a map, you don't have to. If you don't want to use, you don't have to. So it's really spiffy to see. Plus, I'm just excited because Etrian Odyssey is just a really cool series that I'm glad to see. Oh, I skipped over the really, really big news before Tears of the Kingdom. How dare I?
Have a couple more to go over.
Pikmin 4.
Yeah, Pikmin 4. Yeah,
there's a freaking dog, my dude. There's a freaking dog.
Yeah, there's a doggo, which
and
makes
he's
10
cute.
Out of 10.
And like we were talking about while I watch, we're pretty sure this is like a rescue mission type concept. Which is really cool, and I wonder if we're gonna get a swap between the survivors, or if they're gonna be co-opable, or if it's got online or not. I'm really interested to see, what we will get.
Yeah,
from that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see more details, but I definitely
Ice Pikmin, my dude. Ice Pikmin.
Yeah, I really like the mechanics.
We get to mess around. We get to mess around with the environment.
And
there's water bottle enemies.
Water bottle.
That was the coolest thing.
Yeah, I mean that looks interesting. So Kirby, we know that Kirby's Return to Dreamland is being released on the Switch, but the cool fact is they've added, once you beat it, there's a
A new
like,
epilogue.
Yeah, there's a new epilogue, which is really cool.
Featuring a character named Magalore that I have no idea who that is.
I never played that Kirby. I love Kirby games, and I love the couch co-op with Kirby because it's just fun. Kirby is just like, every time you play a Kirby game, it's just like enjoyable. You know what I mean? Like, it's not the greatest thing out there, but it's still like, you always have fun with it. I've never not had fun with Kirby, except the final boss of the last game because of difficulty spike, and I was like, what the hell?
Good old King DDD.
But no, different. Okay, and so like, I know you don't care. I'm excited for Bayonetta Origins. So
no. See, you misunderstand. You misunderstand. It's not that I don't care. It's that it is a game I want to go into blind because I want to see if it can hook me on the Bayonetta series, because Bayonetta 1 and 2 did not, and I'm not going to risk Bayonetta 3 being a waste of money. So I'm kind of hoping that understanding her origins will make me want to play through 1 and 2.
I will say this: it is nothing like the rest of the franchise. So,
of course. I'm not talking about from a gameplay perspective. I'm talking about from the storyline.
It's like
when we meet Bayo in 1,
style...
but like when we meet Bayo in 1, her story's already kind of started, and they don't really explain anything, and I don't really know nothing.
You only get a couple nods, like you don't know much about her. I love the Bayo series, and Bayo 3 slaps so hard, but this one is cool because we get like an Okami style art to it, and it's more a puzzle game. And I like that. And I like that it's different, and it's Bayonetta, so it's an immediate buy for me. But yeah, I get it. Hopefully we'll see. If it's something that captivates you, that's cool. And it's understandable if you didn't get into the games. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know. I used to get to the point where like I felt bad telling people that I didn't like certain series.
Yeah.
Because they loved them, and I didn't want to get into an argument about why I didn't like it. But Bayo didn't grab me. Like I like the combat somewhat, but it just didn't grab me. Now Astral Chain, I've been told by a buddy of mine whose game tastes match mine. He has said that it is an amazing title. I'm waiting for it to go on sale. Hey, Nintendo, put it on sale for me, please, so I can buy it.
Astral Chain slaps really hard. So hopefully we'll get a sequel.
And from what we've seen, they're in the same universe. So I'm hoping that maybe if I like the first Bayo this game, or if I really love Astral Chain, I'll be like, you know what, let's give Bayo another chance, and maybe I'll love it. I don't know.
Yeah, you might. And also, like, quick shout out to the fact that I haven't played Dead Cells, but that Castlevania DLC looked dope.
Okay, so I've played 3.5 hours of Dead Cells. I am terrible at it. It is a super quote unquote difficult game. It's a roguelike, so of course it's gonna get easier the further you get in and the more you play and stuff. But I'm excited to see it still getting content.
Yeah.
So there's one title before we get into the big discussion. The one title that I wish we would have seen is Silk Song. I wish we would have seen or got some news around that. As much as Hollow Knight and I are not friends, I know those fans have been quietly, not so quietly, waiting for news, and to not tell us anything is just kind of a kick in the teeth.
Yeah.
Unless they're going to shadow drop it at the next direct, then you know what? Let's go. I'm okay with it. Because I'm completely behind these shadow drops. I love being all hyped for a release, and then they go available today.
Nintendo dropped so much that was available today,
and I think
during that direct, that Sea Star.
I think that's the Sea Stars demo. I forgot. We'll talk about that in just about 3 seconds.
Yeah,
but I think that's the coolest thing about Nintendo is they're not afraid to be like, hey, we know we haven't given you much in the last year. Here's a couple of shadow drops for you. Whereas Sony and Microsoft are like, yeah, give us a couple years.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it today, and then we'll talk about it the week before we release it, and that's it.
Yeah. They're straight up like, here is this, they dropped everything. The GBA.
GBC,
Sea Stars demo dropped, Metroid dropped, and they dropped a demo for Octopath where you can try playing as all the protagonists from Octopath 2.
Oh, I forgot. I didn't see that at all. But
Oh
also,
yeah, no, there's a demo right now. For
but also,
Octopath
but
Traveler
al-
2,
but
my
also,
friend.
we all know that Octopath and I are not friends. So
I know. I'm just putting
I
it
know.
out
Hey,
there.
I'm okay with that. No, you're fine. I didn't know that it was
I'm
a
not
thing.
playing the demo because, like, again, I want to experience.
It's not in my. It's not in my the one site that I go to for direct news to keep up with directs while I'm away from everything. Did not list it. I don't think. Let me just quickly search.
The only reason that I
did. It's literally a sentence in here.
Yeah.
Thanks, website that I'm not gonna name out loud. You jerks.
The only reason that I did Theatrhythm was so the only reason that I did Theatrhythm demos was because I had never played the series, and I know that, like, God, I'm getting off track. I'm bad at rhythm games, but I still love them. And I wanted to try it. And when I tell you that Theatrhythm is one of my most anticipated games this month,
okay,
I mean it.
I'm very excited.
Love the adorable style. I love the fact that it's an RPG on screen while you're doing rhythm elements, and I love that I can play online with my friends.
So
and they're just songs from so many great RPGs in there.
Two things about Theatrhythm. So when I went to Japan in 2019, they had an arcade version of Theatrhythm. I had a crap load of fun wasting all of my money for that day because I budgeted money for the day. I would go to the arcade at like 9 p.m. and I wouldn't leave until about 2, and all I do is play Theatrhythm. To the point that I had regulars that would go there to play pachinko, or they would play like fighting games. They would come and watch me play because I was just super good.
You were just that talented.
I was just super good. That, and I was a white kid sitting there playing a random rhythm game, and I obviously I knew what games they were from, and I could tell you what series they were, but like I couldn't read Japanese, so all the little hints and all the little moments that were happening, I was like, oh, that was cute, and they would laugh at me because I didn't know what was being said.
Yeah.
So for all I knew, it could be a Moogle, swearing at me, telling me that I was a piece of crap, and I was laughing at how cute it was. So they were just having fun with it. But the second thing is I am really, really bad at this game because they don't have the one they had on the 3DS where you can actually set your millisecond delays. They just have 4 options for delay, and it's not precise. So it's off by like 2 milliseconds, and I'm very sad about it. I've tried all of them, and it's just a little bit off, and I mess up. But that's okay. I'm still stoked, and I cannot wait to play more. But also, I didn't see this until just now. We're going to get the Pokemon trading card game on NSO, and there's online multiplayer, so I can beat your butt with my OG Pokemon knowledge.
Also, the fact that the GBA stuff has up to 4-player co-op online.
Now here's the thing: if they would just give me Pokemon Trading Card Game 2, we could then have even more fun online. But anyways, we've talked enough about all these little small releases that just don't matter. They're just pointless. Nobody cares about it. We've only been talking about it for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Let's jump into Tears of the Kingdom.
Let's just jump into it.
I saved Tears of the Kingdom and everything about it until today. I recorded my little paltry 3-minute reaction and a minor bit of discussion, but I saved the meat of it for now. So I want to go through what I saw, what I'm excited for, and then you can tell me what I missed because I didn't watch it 18 times in a row like I know a lot of my friends did. I only watched it once.
I've only watched it twice now.
So we got to hear Ganon speak.
Yeah.
And I know that's TP Ganon's voice, whether that's going to be TP Ganon or not.
Right.
Because the way that I could see them taking this is because we've had all 3 timelines in Breath of the Wild. This could be Ganon's essence, the essence of Ganon.
Yeah.
Being frozen by Guardian Tech or whatever.
There's something at play, and the similarities draw from the fact that we see what's the internet's referred to as dehydrated Ganon.
I do love that. I do love his name.
And so we know that at the end of Twilight Princess, he's left in the way that there's just hints here. So
I was gonna say,
Link
don't spoil
impales
too much
Ganon.
because I've actually never played TP. You're fine. I already know the ending, so you're gonna ruin it for
all
me.
right. I was gonna say, like,
but like, don't go too far because I don't want those that have never played TP to have it ruined entirely. So from this point on, spoilers. I love your face. You are responsible for spoilers.
I'm sorry, spoilers for Twilight Princess because it has to happen in order to properly discuss.
And so
this.
if you get mad in the comments that you got spoiled, I'm very sorry. Please leave now and go.
Okay, cool. All right, so the way that Ganon gets impaled at the end of Twilight Princess, right? Now, the theories circulating are that this is Twilight Ganon because he's impaled there. And all the imagery that we see of the Master Sword that is decayed is the Master Sword that Link left stuck in Ganon at the end of Twilight Princess.
Okay.
So
the decay sword that we see on the logo is the sword that he left in Ganon back then.
Princess.
Okay.
Is the theory.
Of course.
One of the theories. Because know canonically, here's the thing. We know canon-wise that Skyward Sword is the first Zelda game, period. It is the first at the beginning of the main Zelda timeline. Skyward Sword is 1st. They've already said that. That is what happened. So we see that everyone's living in the sky and that people used to live on the ground. And in this game, we're seeing parts of Hyrule float up to the sky.
Correct.
And you cannot tell me that it at least doesn't feel like this is the main timeline coming full circle. It's not going to be the last Zelda game, but I think it'll be the last main timeline because I think we're not going to get a third one with this Link. Like I'm telling you.
Here's the way that I see things. I think I think Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom are set apart from the rest of the games. I think it's either going to be the time loop that closes the timelines entirely, and we may see it circle back to Skyward Sword.
Yeah.
To create a time loop so that all 3 timelines can happen. Or this is just going to be like, hey, every single version of Ganon inhabits this body. You know, Twilight Princess being the fallen hero timeline, and all of that, and we see callbacks to all of the Legend of Zelda titles. So we've already, like we said, we've got Link's tunic from Kokiri Forest. We've got the Majora's Mask. We've got all this stuff, and yes, those could be seen as callbacks, just as a little thing. But I think they are actually in the world. I think they're actually canon. So I think that this is like either set apart, and this is just the timelines all bleeding together, and Link's got to fix it
which is another theory,
is continue existing.
Yeah.
Or this is, like I said, the closure. This is at the bottom of the timeline where they all converge at a point, and this is the fallout of all of it happening.
Yeah.
And this is Ganon trying to say, hey, yeah, you defeated me in this timeline. You won in this timeline. I won in this timeline. But I'm trying to end your story. I'm trying to kill you, the hero of time. I'm trying to be the end all be all. Go die in a fire.
Yeah. Yeah. We're sitting at where any theory, and I will say this, any theory that you have, that anyone has weight. Has weight here because we don't know. There's not enough evidence,
and I don't think there ever is going to be. I think it's really cool.
We play the game.
Well, no, I think Aonuma did it perfectly. Whenever people were like, "Can you give us an actual timeline of Legend of Zelda?" And he's like, "I don't see how." Too much of this is up to interpretation. Like, yes, they gave us,
and there is, but
What I'm meaning is like where Breath of the Wild sits and how it ties into everything. I don't think he's ever going to be able to say, "Hey, this is the end," or "This is right before," or "This is in the middle of," or "If Link made this decision in Wind Waker, this is what happens." I don't think we're ever going to see where Breath of the Wild fully fits in the timeline because it's all up for interpretation. Because they've involved every single timeline in these games. Because we've seen Darunia's name as a mountain. We've seen, all of Princess Ruto's name here and there. So like we've seen from all of the games all this different stuff. So I think
everything comes together. And I don't know. It's hard to say. It would be nice if we got a semi-conclusive loop because this franchise is 37 years old. And the fact that they've managed to make so many incredible games, no matter what, everyone has a favorite Zelda game, right? They've made so many incredible games over 37 years, some terrible games, we can all agree, but like there have been some like tons of amazing games.
Some non-canon games that just kind of exist.
But if we got like a proper like that, it doesn't mean that we don't still get Zelda games, right? A new timeline can be birthed.
Well, exactly.
Or maybe this is the end that bursts a new timeline.
Well, that's what I was saying. This also, like I said, this could be the ending of the Hero of Time story, and they could introduce, because if you've noticed, I'm not sure if anybody's really paid attention, but like, the Triforce really wasn't a big deal in Breath of the Wild.
I feel like
I mean,
there wasn't really...
it wasn't. There was no, hey, go put the Triforce back together to steal Ganon, or no, hey, you have the Triforce of power or courage or wisdom, or you have all three, or you have two of the three. No. Yeah. It was just Princess Zelda has the power to hold Ganon back. She sacrificed herself, so go get her, bro. Yeah. So this very well could be like, hey, you used the power of the Triforce to steal Ganon.
Right.
But you didn't get him all.
Well, and here's the thing. So they talk about,
or like you said, this could spawn a whole new timeline with a whole new version of Ganon.
Yeah, like I'd love to see discussion in the comments. So
or stitches on TikTok if I ever make a TikTok.
Yeah, I mean we should probably have a TikTok at this point.
I'm gonna let you manage it because I'm gonna be bad at it.
Yeah, I mean you edit videos and send them all.
That's sigh.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. No, I'm fine with it. So yeah, I'd love to know people's thoughts on that, but one thing is for sure that we cannot deny is the what I would consider massive tie-ins of Twilight Princess.
Oh, for sure. And like I told you, whenever the audio played at the very end, by the way, if you haven't listened to that last bit of audio, I will go to my grave until the game comes out.
Saying
that's Midna. And if we don't see Wolf Link to some degree, or a wolf that looks like Wolf Link, but it's like Midna being Midna saying, hey, do you remember me? Or something like that.
Here's the thing. When Zelda says to him, lend him your power, what if she's talking to every incarnation of Link?
And that...
What if Breath of the Wild...
I didn't think about that. I didn't think about that.
Because this is... Like, I was just reading about this, and it said, like, in Breath of the Wild, the Triforce hasn't been known about for over 10,000 years. So, yeah. So that's why the Triforce is, like, absent.
Wait a second. Right? Okay, so fan theory time, Nibs theory time. I have I have a very crazy brain, but let's talk about this.
Yeah.
What if, because Zelda is the incarnation of Zelda, and Link's the incarnation of Link, and she has the tablet.
Yeah.
What if the Sheikah Slate lets her... I don't want to say open up portals, but like that's the best way I can describe it because we don't know how Legend of Zelda works with time travel yet. Besides the Master Sword being put in the pedestal,
right?
But what if she goes to the Temple of Time, puts the Sheikah Slate on a pedestal, and it opens up a rift to a timeline, or all of the Links, or all of the Zeldas, or whatever. And she does the whole lend him your power, and they all go, what? And the fucking, sorry, pardon my French, the Triforce comes through, and it helps bring the Triforce back to Hyrule 10,000 years later.
There's something huge at play here, because, like, we defeated Calamity Ganon, right? Like, we defeated him.
Did we, though?
Did we, though? Well, that's the thing, because there's the Blood Moon... and all of that,
and the power that we see zoom from the Blood Moon is Calamity Ganon,
right? And that's the thing is now, like, again.
Oh my god! Oh, Jim, I just thought of something. My brain just clicked. Okay, so Calamity Ganon is Breath of the Wild Ganon. This is Dehydrated Ganon, which could be TP Ganon. What if we're also going to come across different versions of Ganon?
Well, I was gonna say either different versions of Ganon, or when we defeated, because again, quick theory, like feel free to tell me I'm an idiot. But if it's been that long since the Triforce has even been known about, if that's Twilight Princess's Ganon, it's not too unbelievable to think that this Earth and everything was built over the old remains of the Hyrule Castle from that time.
My brain just clicked.
And he's buried underneath current Hyrule, and the death of Calamity Ganon, his essence goes into this Ganon.
Oh my, okay,
reviving him.
So think about it this way. So remember how we saw the drip of Guardian? The drip of whatever, Sheikah, whatever we want to call that.
Yeah.
And did it touch Ganon, or did it touch Link? I don't remember. Or did we see where it dropped?
We see Ganon like come back when something hits him.
Okay, so what? Let's just fan theory here.
Yeah.
What if he's not the only bad guy?
Yeah, I don't know,
because they said
like,
they're bringing back dungeons to an extent to this game. So
right.
what if we have 6 dungeons and it's 6 versions
Yeah.
of Ganon for the 6 or 3 versions of Ganon?
Totally could be that we could have,
and they're just focusing on this version because that's just what they're gonna do. Because he could be the last dungeon, he could be the Calamity Ganon of this version, and we're just gonna face the different versions of Ganon. Because honestly, it'd be really cool to see Widowmaker Ganon, that cartoon style in Breath of the Wild.
Right, and that's really the thing is that cool. Like, I'm gonna be happy no matter what they do.
Oh, but for sure.
But the fact that you said, like, to shout out the fact that you said, like, you said it's Minda's voice. If it's Twilight Ganon and Twilight Ganon has access to Twilight, it would make sense for him opening it up.
Yeah.
Upon revival.
Well, because I'm looking at Tears of the Kingdom. I'm looking at the back end of the logo. If you look at underneath the word Kingdom, it looks like a wolf. That looks like the wolf imagery we got from the Twilight Princess logo. So it just makes sense that we're gonna be focused on Twilight Princess. But like the trailer image they use for this trailer is Skyward Sword. You're in the sky. You're flying on a thing. By the way, shout out to Nuts and Bolts for being a precursor to this. Appreciate you, Rare. While you did create a really bad Banjo-Kazooie the game, you did give us some pretty tight inspiration.
At least it looks like that.
You gave us some cool inspiration for 10, 15 years later for Legend of Zelda. Appreciate you guys.
We've seen a couple of reveals with this game. We see a Link that looks war-torn and battered, and Zelda could be dead at that point. And then we get this trailer that looks like the beginning of it.
With a really cool glove arm thing.
Right.
And the question is this the same Link?
Yeah, this is Breath of the Wild Link.
Are we sure, though?
We're not.
Exactly my point. Are we sure this is Breath of the Wild? We know this looks like Breath of the Wild Zelda.
Well, I think it starts off with Breath of the Wild Link, but could the Link that we see in there was a trailer that came up before this where it's all in the sky and Link's battered wearing different clothes, and that could be that Twilight Princess Link. Could that be Twilight Princess Link?
Could that be just future Breath of the Wild Link, another incarnation, because Link and that Link and Zelda retired. And by retired, I mean died or expired, or they decided.
Well, and there's a part in this trailer where she's like, "Link, I don't think you'll be able to stop him," meaning that like they don't know this Ganon.
Yeah, and so like I'm very, or that could mean Shadow Link. We could bring Shadow Link back.
Yeah, like God damn, I could talk about this for hours because there's so many things at play here.
But okay, let's talk about our fan the trailer itself. Sorry, I want to give, because we can fan theory for freaking days. Yeah. So we saw stuff falling from the sky that looks like parts you can pick up or things you can create to get back up high. Yeah. So it could be random events that occur that let you go back to certain areas up in the sky. Since we don't have Rivali's Gale anymore, we can't go super float. I did see mention of a car. You could drive a car type thing, but we got the motorbike, but like a car. Yeah. And it looks like it's using Guardian power, which is really cool.
Yeah.
We've seen the sword, but here's the thing. I'm going to bring this up. It's another fan theory, but it came from NOE, which if you didn't know is Nintendo Europe. They tweeted out a picture of the sword being degraded. Not degraded. What's what I'm looking for here?
Yeah,
degraded is what we'll go with. And they said, "Are you okay, Fee?" Nintendo of Europe tweeted out, "Are you okay, Fee?" And I'm like, all right, look, if you're not going to give me information in the trailer, don't put it on Twitter. Because if you don't follow all the Nintendos, you're not going to keep track of what they're talking about.
Well, and that's where I talk about the loop, is that Fee could be in this too.
Well, I don't see how Fee couldn't be if we're based back in quote unquote Skyloft. Because I don't see how she couldn't be.
Because if this is a precursor to, again, it being raised into the sky, that's what I'm saying, is that like.
Well, and here's the other thing I just thought of. What if this isn't TP Ganon? What if this is? I know that we say Skyward Sword is the first, but what if this is? I don't want to say Ganon, but what if this is a bad guy that by using the Master Sword we cut him into bad guys. I don't fucking know. And he becomes well no, because he can't be, because like we've already discussed, Skyward Sword, that enemy becomes Ganon. So
right. So you're saying what if this is actually
this is pre
starting off as Ganon, but the final boss of TP, or not TP, of Skyward
Sword, and this is the beginning of Skyloft. This is what creates Skyloft.
That's what I like. But the first thoughts I had on the first trailer that showed that, I said this has to be the storyline coming together. I'm still like feeling like there's a lot of Twilight involved in here, but let's ignore that.
What if no? What if this doesn't involve Twilight, but like this game seals off Twilight for now. This game seals off Ganon, and it creates whatever the enemy is in Skyward Sword. I never played it. I don't know what its name is. What if this...
Because Fee's involvement would happen.
Exactly. What if this splits off the timeline and creates the different versions of Link?
It's not Giram. That's the guy that you fight.
Yeah, I don't know what his name. I thought it started with a D.
I'm
looking it up. Just because. And, again, Skyward Sword came out...
Demise.
Yeah, so what if this is Demise and not Ganon? What if Calamity Ganon actually did get defeated,
right,
and seeped into the ground and inhabited a Redead, because Redeads are back, by the way, and that created Demise.
Demise has red hair.
Doesn't the high-haired Ganon have red hair?
Well, it looks like he's got reddish hair in the.
But of course, that could be the Gerudo hair. But
yeah, I'm just saying they look. Demise and Ganon have a lot of similarities.
And of course they have to, because they're the same person.
Yeah.
But of course, this is us trying to make sense of things that we just don't know much about, and we're trying to rationalize fan theories that don't.
We are.
That don't, they make sense, but they don't make sense.
Yeah.
So meh. Anyways, so we saw Redeads, we saw different Bokoblins, we saw the Blood Moon come back. We heard Ganon speak, which is, I think that's the first time he's talked. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, is it?
No. Calamity Ganon talked, didn't he?
Not that I know of.
Now it's been so long, man.
Well, no, I was gonna did TP Ganon have a voice line? No, because that whole game was silent.
That game was silent.
I know Wind Waker didn't, because that game was silent. Well, not silent, but there was that isn't kind of speaking. Breath of the Wild, no. This will be the first time we've given a voice to Ganon. Zelda has a voice finally. Maybe dehydrated Ganon will punch Link in the throat and he'll actually start talking. Because I think that's most.
I don't think it's.
It may not be Ganon either.
No, it could be Fee or Midna.
Oh, you mean the talk again? You're talking about that stuff.
I mean the fucking voice. I'm sorry.
I'm on to Ganon, and you're like, it could be Fee or Ganon. It very well could be. It also could be Fee.
No. That the sound at the end, right? Where yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it is to the point now where they could do a lot. And here's my thing. I want to know what Tears of the Kingdom means.
Right.
That's what I want to know. Is Zelda going to die and Link's going to do some crazy stuff to create the timeline or close the timeline or save her?
I don't see Zelda not dying in this.
I don't either. I want to know. My biggest question, though, is the glove or the arm.
Yeah.
What happens? Because that Link, this Link does not survive.
No.
This game.
That's the thing is, well, and before we do too much, when I talk about things going full circle, I think this is going to have the saddest ending of a Zelda game.
Well, it already made me cry. The Breath of the Wild made me cry whenever Zelda's breaking down when everybody's dying and she can't even save them. I was like, oh my god!
But for the cycle to continue,
he has to die.
So I think we're gonna lose Link and Zelda in this game.
Well, I think, and this is far-reaching, but I think we're gonna encounter dehydrated Ganon in the very beginning. And we're not going to see him again until the very end. And the very end, he's going to launch Zelda off of a cliff. like the trailer shows.
Yeah.
I think Link's gonna go to save her, but I think either Fi, Midna, the sword, the Triforce, or Ganon is gonna pull Link back. Zelda's gonna die. And then I think something's gonna happen in the final fight with whomever this bad guy is, whether it's Ganon, whether it's Demise, whether it's Shadow Link, whether it's something's gonna happen. Link's gonna have to make a decision, and that's how the cycle's gonna start again.
Yeah.
Although we've never had confirmation that Link's had to die, because Link's never died in a game before, so we don't know what it takes.
Well, and that's the thing. So like, so we don't really know. And like, look, guys, we could spend hours talking.
Yeah, I could just never shut up.
Yeah, I was like, but let us know what your theories are. I'm excited for this.
Send us videos if it's a 45-minute conversation. We will listen and talk about it. Trust me, we want to know. And I'm going to be dissecting this trailer again, so we may have another one-off where we talk about this further. We might with images and stuff.
Some further research and have like
I should probably go watch like a playthrough of Twilight Princess and Skyward Sword, maybe.
Yeah, it should probably like we need to brush
I would say play through them, but I just don't have time. I don't have time.
Yeah. But like that being said, like seriously, we love that we're doing this. I love that we can do this. I love that we can be passionate about this. And I can't wait for the release of Tears of the Kingdom, where we can all experience whatever is happening. But I know that Nintendo's got another hit on their hand. And I'll take the heat in the comments, but Breath of the Wild is my favorite Zelda game of all time. So
hey, go for it. Go for it. I want to say Breath of the Wild's up there. Breath of the Wild's up there for me. For me, it goes Wind Waker. From Wind Waker, it then goes Link to the Past. Yeah. Then from Link to the Past is Breath of the Wild. And then everything else in between.
Yeah, and for me, like, again, I don't mind that the weapons break, because you can amass so many weapons, so that never bothered me. I don't know, maybe I'm weird.
It bugged me that the Master Sword could run out of power.
That's the only thing that bugged me. I could understand it being dull and not working on anyone except for
I can understand it not doing laser sword all the time.
Right.
I can understand it not working on
right, not laser, but it
it
shouldn't have broken.
Laser swords from hearts like it was in every other game, not based on charges or time. I can also understand it not glowing and being a one-hit kill on anybody but Ganon at the very end, but I did not understand it powering down and being useless.
No,
that was dumb.
That was a weird design choice, which hopefully doesn't reflect in the next one. But hey, I want dungeons back for sure. That was the only thing really missing for me.
Puzzles that aren't dumb.
I do have my complaints about Breath of the Wild. I don't mind the shrines, but they're like, at the end of the day, I would have preferred actual dungeons, because the shrines,
or just puzzles that were legitimate, like an Ocarina of the Time. You know, the best ocarina of the game ever.
Of the time.
Where you had to, light the torches in a specific order or in a specific way, or, stuff like that. Not just, hey, move this ball to this hole and use your Sheikah Slate to mess with gravity and mess with the magnets and
Also, Nintendo, we don't need we do not need the Guardians to come back. We're good.
Honestly, no, we do, because that was such a cool scare factor for me.
As someone who struggles to parry,
no. From a gameplay perspective, dear God, I hated him. But that fear factor, if you're just walking around, there's nothing.
Yeah.
Son of a! Where are you? Yeah, and you're like, and then it's like 15 feet above you, etched into a mountain, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
I loved that.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah.
So cool. Also, please give me a Hyrule shield from this version of Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
Or from this version of Hyrule, not the Hyrule shield from Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
Give me a Breath of the Wild style, semi-holy Master Shield. Mm-hmm. Hyrule shield. Or give me Wind Waker's first shield.
Yeah.
Give me the hero shield, please.
Yeah.
Just I would love that. I would love
I'm excited. Also, big shout out before we get too far off target.
Oh yeah.
Collector's Edition, Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Most disappointing collector's edition of all time.
And like, here's the thing: you might think that like, oh, these guys just love Nintendo and they eat up everything they give out. No, I will say this right now: I love the Legend of Zelda series, and I collect all the stuff, and I'm mad at myself for the fact that I went and pre-ordered this because it's like $175 in Canada. And when I tell you the fact that the Fire Emblem one was $50 cheaper than that and is better, I'm sorry. They should have done way better. They did better with Breath of the Wild.
They should have given me a sword replica, a little statue. They should have given me.
Could have done a lot.
So much more.
Could have done a lot. But
now I will go out and buy a steel book from eBay. I will do that. So in the comments, if you're selling one, I'll buy it. I got you.
Yeah.
I'll pay you $5, maybe $10.
Yeah. No, so like that's my 2 cents. I ordered it. I'm gonna get it. I'll unbox it on YouTube. Huh?
I mean, go for it. I have no issues with people buying. Like I want to buy it, but
I'm going to complain about the price though.
It is disappointing to me, so I just can't. If it would have come with a statue, I'd have bought it day one. But the fact that it didn't, I just can't.
Because Breath of the Wild had 2 bigger editions, and of course, you know, all the bots bought out the big one.
Oh, dude,
before I could score
I was so excited to get the master edition that I did. I was like, yes.
I will say, I got the middle edition, which is just missing the sword.
Yep.
And I will say that to today, that was still one of my happiest collectors to get. Regardless, I still have my Sheikah Slate Switch case.
Same. I use that when I travel. That's my travel case.
Yeah, it's
for content stuff.
Case.
By the way, if you ever see me out and about in public, not that you know what I look like, but if you ever see a Sheikah Slate dude with a bunny shirt on, that's me. Come say hi. Hello. Hello. Until they give me a Fire Emblem carry case.
Yeah.
That's the one I'm using.
Yeah.
BT Dubs. The Fire Emblem DLC looks fire, except for Shraben, but that's okay. That's okay.
For Shraben.
Yeah,
I'm excited. He hasn't finished it. I have.
I'm a really bad fan of the panel. I'm on chapter 5.
Yeah. I give it a 9 out of 10. And I thought it was incredible.
Oh, and side note.
Mods
are already a thing for that game. Continue.
I'm not surprised. I only and why not higher? For me, I thought the story was like really cheesy and stuff and predictable. Yeah. But I will not lie and say that at the near the end, no spoilers, don't worry, there's no spoilers here. It really rallies me together and gets my emotions running leading into the final battle. So I loved my time with Fire Emblem Engage, and I can't wait to play more of the games in the series. So that's it. That's all I'm saying on that. I know we should probably wrap this up because
it's actually our longest podcast since coming back the second time.
If you're still here, thank you for the support.
If you've given us a listen this far, please put the word tacos in your comments so I can give you a high five and potentially become a super follower, because I may give you a month super follower. I don't know if that's actually a thing. Is that a thing? Is that the right terminology, super follower?
What member?
No, it's YouTube member. I'll subscribe to your membership thing if you got it.
Yeah, there you go.
That's the stipulation. Just don't make it $20.
That's the stipulation.
Just don't make it $20.
Just say tacos and we're Gucci.
And we're Gucci.
But yeah, I'm Jim Ventures. He's Nibbles. We both stream on Twitch.
Sometimes I stream sometimes.
Video games. Yeah, he's starting to get back into it.
Eat your cereal. Do your sit-ups.
Drink your water.
And understand that no matter what, while the world sucks, the two of us love you, and we hope that you know that. And if you ever are having a hard time, pop in the comments, pop on Twitter, DM us.
Yeah.
I don't know if Jim is more open to DMs. I don't care. Just DM me. Sup, I got you.
Just be like, yo.
Just be like, hey, how a tough day.
And don't be like dehydrated again and drink your water.
Yeah, don't be a dehydrated Ganon. Drink your water so you don't get impaled and have random guardian stuff drip on you. That's awkward.
That's it.
But with that, we're gonna call it, because we've been talking for a long time and I gotta go get a steak.
All right, thanks for watching, guys, or listening, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.
In like a month.
In like a month.
Okay, bye.
Bye.